Before the wagons, before the line, before the engine climbed the spine. Miss Ike and Aquamin County, the buffalo show the way. Hooves in the grass where the tall reeds sway. They follow the wind where the high ground lies, above the fog where the river sighs. Hooves cut past through the prairie spine, long before the road had a sign. Shawnee hunters moving through the trees, watching the valley in the evening breeze. Palewaki below us, near the caney all around. The river's shining where the hills slope down. They walk that ridge where the dry winds run, following trails to the rising sun. Footsteps quiet where the old paths went, through the same long ridge we still find. Then came wagons from the river town, iron wheels rolling southward down. Axes ringing where the forest stood, turning the trace into wagon wood. Lantern ends where the travelers dine, following that same ridge line. Dusting horses through the pines, long before the Dixie signs. Then Dixie Highway lit the night, tourist cabins burning bright. Roadhouse music through the summer air, truckers dancing without a care. Maps would call it 25, America's highway running alive. Chrome and tail lights rolling the line through the bones of the old trail spine. Now Interstate 75 runs fast, concrete rivers rushing past. But every mile the engines climb still follows that same ridge line. Buffalo hooves and wagon wheels, neon signs and diesel reels. Every traveler through all that time, walking the same old ridge line.
Headlights glow on the two-lane blacktop. Dust of the day still clinging to my skin. Radio low, singing with the night birds, rolling on to where the neon lights begin. I see the diner sign flicker by the station, gas pumps humming like a lullaby. Strangers gather where the jukebox is playing, and I'm just passing, but it feels alright. Another town tonight, another place to rest my my home, but it'll hold keeping this soul alive. Barroom laughter spilling out on Main Street, sweet smell of barbecue hanging in the air. I'm walking slow, boots beating on the pavement. Every stop reminds me I belong out there. Tomorrow comes with another horizon, but for now this corner feels like mine. A warm hello, a smile from a stranger, that's the kind of road sign that keeps me winding time. Another town tonight, another place to rest my eyes. Not my home, but it'll hold me fine. Every mile I ride, I find a little piece of life. Another town tonight, keeping this soul alive. I don't need roots when the wheels keep turning. The road's my compass and the town's my song. Every welcome light keeps the fire burning. Another stop where the night feels strong. Another town tonight, another place to rest my eyes. Not my home, but it'll hold me fine. Every mile I ride, I find a little piece of life. Another town tonight, yeah, another town tonight, keeping this soul alive. South of Cincinnati town, there's a red and white tower looking down. You ain't even past the airport wall before that big sign hollers, y'all. Truckers grin and tourists stare, kids in the backseat pointing up there. Every driver slowing down the cross, reading that tower saying y'all. That tower says y'all, welcome to Kentucky. Blue 'cause the mall was still a dream. Paperwork stuck in the zoning machine. State men said you can't do that. City folks tipped back their hat, grabbed some paint and fixed it all. Turn one word into y'all. That tower says y'all. Welcome to Kentucky. Blue letters are waving from the sky. That down where the salt springs bubble from the Kentucky clay. Buffalo carved a trail where the old earth gave way. Hunters came quiet through the morning mist, but what they found there was bigger than the rest. Tusks in the mud and ribs like fallen trees, bones from a world nobody could see. Wagon wheels rattled down the Boone County track, hauling giant bones in a canvas sack. Folks in the tavern said it couldn't be true, said giants must have walked where the bluegrass grew. But the mud kept giving up secrets slow, from 1,000 winters ago. A riverman named Clark sent word back east, found a graveyard of beasts by the salt marsh creeks. Crates of bones on a long dirt road headed where the scholars rode and the scientists showed. Even Jefferson stared at those tusks and all, wondering what kind of creature he saw. Said elephants lost from another land, some said monsters God made by hand. But the marsh kept holding its ancient claim, bones older than the hills and twice the name, still buried deep where the buffalo roam, under Boone County lawn. Now the wind moves slow through the licking ground, and the ghosts of those giants still circle around. If you listen close when the night comes in, you might hear the earth remember them, where the salt runs up through the Kentucky mud, and the giants still sleep in the flood.
Down by Warsaw where the river bends slow, flatboats drifting where the dark winds blow. A lantern on a pole by the cottonwood tree, calling tired boatmen off the current's lead. Cargo stacked high from the Pittsburgh mills, corn and whiskey riding southern hills. But the river keeps secrets under that sky, and some men watch with a lantern light high. Shadow boats waiting where the tree lines end. Oars cut quiet through the midnight flow, following flatboats moving soft and slow. River fog rolling off the Kentucky shore, boot steps hiding in the sycamore. When the boat tied up thinking they found a pier, they found 6 hard men waiting in the rear. Drifting thief, flatboat captain swore by the rising sun he'd been fooled by a light and a loaded gun. The river keeps moving like it always will, past Napoleon's silent river hill, where the docks once rang with a steamboat bell, and the lantern men had their tales to tell. Trucks roll past where the wagons ran, Interstate humming through Gallatin land. But some nights driving by that riverside, you might swear you see a lantern light, a flicker low where the river bends wide, dancing soft on the midnight tide, and the wind just carries a whispering tone from the lantern men of the Ohio. So keep your wheels rolling and your headlights bright, don't trust every glow in the river night. Some lights guide safe and some led wrong, that's an old Ohio River song. From Warsaw docks to the Glencoe line, where the dark water moves through time, and the lantern shines where the shadows lie, on the quiet bends of the Ohio.
was born in the bluegrass, just west of the line, where the sun hits the meadow and the fence posts align. With a blaze on his forehead and fire in his stride, they named him Willow for the way he would glide. There's a boy on the farm who would rise with the day, brush out the tangles and ride him away. Through the fields near Paducah, where the tall grasses bend, it was hard to tell where the rider would end and the horse would begin. Summers wore on like the slow turn of streams, and the world grew up faster than boyhood dreams. Trucks came and went with their trailers and pay, and the man in the suit said he's too good to stay. Now he runs for the cameras, the crowds and the gates, in a world made of numbers and high dollar stakes. But the boy, now a man, still walks every dawn down to that fence line, still calling him home. And he swears he can hear him when the wind's blowing right, the thunder of hooves in the hush of the night. Just a flicker of a shadow, a glint in the rain, like Willow is riding those hills once again. Western Kentucky, she never forgets the weight of a saddle, the pull of regrets. But somewhere a stall still keeps his name pinned, and a boy's heart believes he'll come home again. He was born in the bluegrass, wild and unpinned, and he runs through the silence like a willow in the wind.
On Interstate 71, where the midnight miles run long, between the river bends of Cincinnati and Louisville town. A bus rolled south through the dark Kentucky hills, young voices laughing as the highway unwound. They were headed home from a summer evening ride, from Kings Island lights to Radcliffe's quiet streets. No one on that road could know the hour ahead, where the night and the fire wouldn't meet. And the lights on 71 still shine tonight, like candles on the shoulder of the lane, for the children who were singing on that road so wide and never made it home again. Kentucky keeps their memory in the hills and river wind, where the headlights pass and the tires hum low, and every mile between Louisville and Cincinnati carries the love we still owe. Somewhere near Carrollton, the dark broke apart, a wrong way shadow in the passing line. Steel met steel and the night caught flame, and the world changed in a breath of time. 27 souls in that burning glow, 24 children on the ride, and the river valley held its breath that night, while heaven opened wide. And the lights on 71 still shine tonight, like candles on the shoulder of the lane, for the children who were singing on that road so wide and never made it home again. Kentucky keeps their memory in the hills and river wind, where the headlights pass and the tires hum low, and every mile between Louisville and Cincinnati carries the love we still owe. There's a marker by the highway where the grass grows tall, drivers slow as the miles roll by. Some bow their heads for a quiet second, some whisper a prayer to the sky, because every parent knows that road of fear. Every child knows a summer night, and somewhere between the river towns, those stars still shine bright. The river keeps on flowing, the trucks keep rolling through, but the story rides that highway still in every passing view. And the lights on 71 still shine tonight, like candles in a quiet road, for the children who were singing on that Kentucky
37 summers ago. And if you pass that marker in the midnight miles, let the wheels roll soft and slow, because the road remembers every name, though the world may never know.
I've walked through fire with a painted on smile, carried my demons for miles and miles, bruised in the shadows where no one sees, hoping there's something out there for me. Took wrong turns where the street lights die, no U-turn signs in this piece of sky. The rear view's full of ghosts and pain, but I still drive through the pouring rain. Somewhere down the road I'll find my way, where the night don't whisper the things I can't say. I keep moving on, 'cause yesterday's gone, and I pray this path is the right one I'm on. Somewhere down the road. I've begged the silence for some kind of sign, swore I heard truth in the engine's whine, Every mile's a maybe, every town a test, but I keep on looking for a place to rest. Time left its scars like barbed wire lines, wounds I hide behind borrowed rhymes. I ain't sure if I'm lost or close, but I trust the dust and I chase the hope. Somewhere down the road I'll find my way, where the night don't whisper the things I can't say. I keep moving on, 'cause yesterday's gone, and I pray this path is the right one I'm on. Somewhere down the road. I ain't looking for glory, ain't chasing gold, just a light that don't flicker when the wind gets cold. If there's peace out there, Lord, let it show before my wheels give out and I can't go. Somewhere down the road I'll find my way. Let the dawn be a promise I won't betray. I keep moving on, 'cause yesterday's gone, and I pray this path is the right one I'm on. Somewhere down the road.
Well, if you're rolling through Kentucky, where the courthouse clock still chimes, there's a town where the steel tracks run right down the center line. Store doors rattling, windows shaking in the frame, a freight train crawling slow through the middle of LaGrange. Main Street rolling, hear that whistle blow. Traffic backed up while the long train rolls. Engines growling, boxcars clanging chain. That iron keeps a running right through LaGrange. Trucks and coffee cups all waiting by the curb. Tourists staring wide-eyed like they never seen the world. Old man smiling, rocking in his chair, says that train's been rolling since his granddad's day back there. Main Street rolling, hear that whistle cry, couplers banging under Kentucky sky. Steel wheels humming like a midnight rain. That iron keeps a running right through LaGrange. Fire and the whistle screamed all day. Circus trains came rumbling in from 100 miles away. Elephants walking past the barber pole, kids all running wild when the circus hit the road.
Now diesel motors thunder past the bakery and the bank. Same old rail still shining where the steam engines once clanked. Engines rumbling like a low guitar refrain, still singing that rhythm down the heart of LaGrange. Main Street rolling, hear that whistle blow, engines pulling where the storefront lights all glow. Steel wheels singing like a freight train chain. That iron keeps a running right through LaGrange. Down by Camden Station in the valley shade, rail ties humming where the iron road was laid. Evening sun on the rails like a ribbon of gold. Old men picking songs while the coffee grows cold. Two whistles drifting through the Kentucky air, one from LaGrange and the other from somewhere. Lanterns glowing soft on the platform boards, fiddle playing low while the night wind roars. Steel on steel singing through the dark of the hills, telegraph whispering down the line still, signals burning red through the misty night, two trains rolling fast by a lantern light. Then the thunder came where the valley bends, iron met iron like the world might end, splinters and steam in the midnight cry, and the whistle hung broken in the sky. Now the rails run quiet past Camden town. Morning fog settles where the tracks run down. Sometimes when the wind blows through the trees, you can hear those whistles ride the breeze. Morning light on Brownsboro Avenue, coffee cups and the traffic hum. Engines roll where wagons once stood, paying tolls just to get to town. Pennies dropped at the turnpike gate, dusty wheels on the gravel lane. Now the tires sing 71 through the same old Kentucky plain. Out by Harrods Creek the stone was cut, the hammer sparks in the quarry air. Limestone hauled to the river docks, building towers in Louisville there. Now the water fills those hollow pits, quiet lakes in a neighborhood line. Kids go fishing where the drills once rang, and the stone still sleeps underground. They once cleared fields near Anchorage town, dreaming ships in the open sky, dirigibles floating Chicago down, hydrogen tanks stacked close by. Farmers watch from the fence line posts, said that fire would take the land. Airship dreams never touched the clouds, just a rumor on the wind. Railroad men at the junction stop, freight cars groaning through the night, Camden lanterns and whistle calls echoed under the valley lights. Circus trains and a runaway tale, monkeys loose in the orchard roads. Hard to know what was truth or joke, but the story still goes. Now the Snyder Circle spins around 71 into 65. Headlights sweep through the limestone hills, where the past still rides inside. If you slow for the coffee shop, hear the radios drift and fade. Every song on the passing cars sounds like ghosts of the plain